With things like Skeleton, you want to be able to get that ability elixir back. With things like Boss Bandit, it's almost good that they're being punished. So here we go. We're hopping into the game a little bit late, and looks like technically we're still kind of... this is the CRL Warmup, ladies and gentlemen, the warm-up. So, Juice, bottom of your screen, we're seeing a lot more Golden Knight in the current meta, which makes sense because of his buff. Top of your screen, Elixir Pump to start things off.
Elixir Pump is wild. I have seen this deck or variations of this deck quite a bit. A lot of time we don't see Elixir Pump in Clash Royale League though, and that's, I mean, Ryley's showing why you don't as well. I mean, you have Lightning, he's got the Miner ready for the Elixir Pump. Every time he plays that, it's just going to give an opportunity for Ryley to attack at the bridge like he's doing right now.
And looks like we're all kind of caught up. And Yoru is someone that you and I were discussing also before the event today. You know, it's always great to see new names. It's one of my favorite things about Clash Royale League. Hey, it wasn't too long ago where guys named Ryley, Mohamed Light, Samuel Basoto, names like that were people that you'd never heard of. So it's really cool to see Yoru working his way into the mix. He has gotten #2 on the leaderboard all the way back in December of 2023. He's won a global tournament. That was Sudden Death, which is actually my favorite version of the global tourney. And I love the change to the Golden Knight, Juice. I really enjoy now that his dash is just a little bit more effective, moving farther across the map, moving forward and backward. I actually think it was a really, really great change.
Yeah, Golden Knight's in the mix, Boss Bandit's in the mix, Skeleton King in this mix. I mean, a lot for the last like 2 or 3 years in CRL, we've seen evolutions kind of push champions out of the meta. Champions are back. I mean, everyone is using different champions, abusing the 3-card cycle, but even their abilities, I mean, they're providing value that we haven't seen before.
Yeah, it's interesting with that 3-card cycle and then like the heavier lightning spell with decks like this at the bottom of your screen. You know, the Golden Knight, not the tankiest of all the champions, but you get him off on the back of the board and you're able to actually create a lot of pressure, get more lightnings out than you might feel, which is why I actually think we're starting to see more Mother Witches. We've seen so much lightning in the meta lately that Mother Witch has actually been pretty dominant, especially against these decks with like Bats and Goblin Gangs, which we're seeing a lot in these Mortar, Lightning, Boss Bandit decks, even though this is Golden Knight.
Triple Elixir just coming on the last second here, Andrew, allowing Ryley to defend. That push was looking scary. Golden Knight the bridge here, plus the Law going to clean up the Mother Witch. Other Golden Knight cleaning up the gang. Arrows drop down the Evil Bats, and the Mortar is not the right play. And the Mother Witch prediction on the Bats. Ryley's struggling to defend here.
Yeah, really, really great plays by Yoru. Got nothing there to slow down the battle ramp. Does get a log off in time. 7:77 to 11:59. 29 seconds remaining. Ryley up against the back wall here. And again, that Mother Witch right up at the bridge, really making it, not getting a lot of damage is Yoru, but Ryley does get a mortar shot. That's huge, Juicy. Now within lightning range to take the lead.
Yeah, and the Evil Mortar is on the board. There's 13 seconds left on the clock. The Mortar is just applying a lot of pressure, and the Lightning does drop down, like you said. Yoru does not have a big spell. He has to do something, but he can't. It's over.
You know, it's really interesting. It feels like there was a bit of that experience now that Ryley has. So you guys can see in the bottom right-hand side, popped off in 2024, grabbing second place at World Finals. That's on the live stage.
I think another big reason why Lightning is really in the meta right now is because of the Poison Tower damage nerf. The Rocket Tower damage nerf that happened fairly recently. And I think that Lightning's just a really good card that does a lot of damage to towers. And it also has a huge radius, so it has a decent amount of versatility compared to the Rocket.
Juicy, I know you were devastated when Rocket got nerfed.
Yeah, it was a dark day. No, Andrew knows that Rocket is one of my, if not my least favorite card in Clash Royale. Speaking of more balance changes, I do think that we could use just like a overall tower damage nerf for maybe spells across the board. I don't know. I think it's just good to always see the pros try to break through with troops and with skill rather than focusing on defense mainly.
So here we go. Breaking through right now is Yoru, bringing that Tower of Ryley's all the way down to 1075 in a very similar look here. Monk is also showing up a lot more. A lot of reasons, you know, I mean, you guys can do the math on why Monk would be everywhere, talking about the meta that we're in, especially paired with Royal Giant. You can see how effective it was there. And yeah, like you said at the top of the show, Juicy, RG is also everywhere. And hey, I mean, this is your job, so I'm just going to keep asking you questions. Why now RG? What is the moment now? It does seem like it's kind of found its perfect meta once again. Seems to be really, really hard to stop. Seems to be always breaking through. A lot of options through double and triple elixir. What's the reason for this moment in Clash Royale?
So there's a couple reasons. I think number one, a lot of the buildings have gotten nerfed over time. We saw an Evo Tesla nerf. We saw just a regular Tesla nerf. We've now seen the Evo cannon and the regular cannon get a nerf recently. Bomb Tower and Inferno Tower don't really provide that much value. Really, buildings, you know, they're not great. And Roll Giant excels in a meta like that. I think another big reason is, I think like 2 or so years ago, when they started adding evolutions, I predicted that Monk would become more and more valuable. The more units, the more evolutions they add that are ranged, the more Monk has potential to deflect Evo units. So, and I do think Roll Giant is the card that synergizes best with Monk.
That is a great breakdown. That is an absolutely great breakdown. Love to hear that. 318 remaining on that bottom right-hand tower. Ryley was able to break through. This is the second time now on that top left-hand side. He's going to get another Evo shot in. Doesn't get the third. 1035, 318. Most likely a fireball in Yoru's last slot there. And no, it's a lightning instead. I was thinking it might be lightning because we hadn't seen it. Comes out, takes the tower, and we are all even. 1-1. Experience came in. Game number 2, Yoru just kind of steamrolled him the whole time. So here we go. Game number 3, Ryley starting with a snowball. Snowball can mean balloon. Snowball can mean drill. Drill maybe now that we're seeing Fire Spirit. Evo Snowball plus drill. Really, really great combination. It cycles really quickly, and you can clear everything off the board with that Evo Snowball. So we'll see how Yoru wants to prepare, which looks like he might be going to the skies, Juice.
Yeah, Skelly Drags in bats. That's interesting. Maybe like a Lumberloon, maybe Lava, maybe even a Mortar deck. And Ryley, great call. He is using a Goblin Drill Evo Snowball here. I think it's a great combo, especially since he's used the log already. Evo Snowball does a great job of providing a lot of value with the drill, because a lot of time you can push the defensive units backwards to the back of the tower and allow your Goblin guaranteed damage lock on tower.
Big shout out to our production team and Stats Royale here. Love seeing all the graphics on screen, and it's just nice to be able to talk about what we've already seen being played instead of having to, you know, do what we usually do, hopping back and forth between screens and trying to figure it out there. Obviously, champions out in every single game so far from Ryley. And top of your screen, Juicy, is there a champion in this deck? Is there maybe AQ in that last spot or something? Maybe just a spell, huh?
Yeah, probably going to be a spell. So Yoru not going to be able to compete when it comes to the cycle here. Ryley cycles really quickly, especially with the 3-card cycle from the Mighty Miner. And it looks like Ryley's second Evo is going to be the Cannon Evo here. I think Ryley's got a great matchup for himself.
Yeah.
Yes, Yoru does have the Valk for the drill, but once again, Ryley has the Evo Snowball in cycle. If he tries the Valkyrie, he's going to drop the Snowball on it and push it to the bottom.
And there we go. Exactly what you're talking about. Snowball comes in. Yoru ready with the barb barrel. So, you know, you kind of have to do that this early on in the game. I mean, you have to do it all throughout the game to track those cycles. Those skeleton dragons from Yoru, as you can see, cycling them both on the same side of the map, those are going to be a bit of an X factor here for Yoru. It'd be annoying for Ryley to take care of. Wow. Rocket comes out just on the Evo Mortar, misses the skeleton dragons, but I guess the Mortar was really more of the threatening play. And a pretty decent cleanup there from Ryley. I'd say medium. Juicy, rate that defense.
Yeah, I would give it a 5 out of 10. I mean, he does take out the Evo Mortar, which is definitely the main threat, like you said, but there's a lot of damage coming through. Ryley still has a lot of work to do if he's going to come back and win this. And Yoru is continuing the pressure. He's got the Miner, he's got the Mortar, he's got the Poison. Ryley needs to hit a pre-Evo Snowball on one of these Valkyries in order to make it so that these goblins can hit, just because that Barbarian Barrel is always going to come through if the drill gets low enough on HP.
Yeah, and then obviously Ryley doesn't have much of an option to kind of wait this game out and try to rocket cycle. Minor Poison always frustrating to go up against in that sense. And again, these skeleton dragons being a bit of a nuisance here for Ryley. They're taking a lot of elixir from him, taking a lot of attention from him. That snowball is always going to want to be used on offense, and then on defense, you know, taking care of those skeleton dragons. It's really like an Evo cannon or a fire spirit plus, you know, just kind of sacrificing your guards. So curious to see how Ryley's going to continue to evolve. There we go, fire spirit and sacrificing of the guards. Has to snowball on defense left-hand side. Evo mortar not on the tower yet, but might. There it is.
Wait, it's going to lock on the bomber
It's on
first?
the bomber.
But now it's on the tower. I think the Mighty Miner was out of range. No way. The Mighty Miner's able to distract. Ryley's
Skeleton Dragons are going to get pushed back. One
barely
Skeleton Dragon
on.
connects. No, wow. Ryley playing some crazy defense right now, Juice.
He's staying alive. Now we're heading into Triple Elixir. Will Triple Elixir save him again? No, both the mortars locked. Yoru is already celebrating. Ryley is already shaking his head. He knows it's over. Double mortar with the poison. And Yoru with a massive upset, taking down our CRL World Finals runner-up from last year.
I mean, I don't know if you could have said that any better.